Hassan Nehru.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council members, for giving us the opportunity to speak. The last time I spoke, I talked about how money in politics is distorting our elections. Since then, Cori Bush in Missouri, pretty close to us, lost her election to a primary challenger primarily funded by AIPAC money. AIPAC is an organization whose sole aim is to improve ties between the US and Israel. I want to go into some of the statements mentioned or stated by leadership in Israeli parliament and their ministers. Said by a member of the Knesset, if all of Gaza are refugees, then let's scatter them in the world. There are 2.5 million there. Each country would take 20,000 people, 100 countries. It's human, it is required. Said by another minister, the Minister of Heritage, one of the options is to drop an atomic bomb on Gaza. Sent by the finance ministers. The unequivocal goal of this war we are in the midst of is the complete dismantling of civilian capabilities. Notice here, they're not talking about military infrastructure, civilian capabilities. Said by the member of the ruling party of Likud, all the preoccupation with whether or not there's internet shows that we have learned nothing. We are too humane. Burn Gaza now. Sent by the Minister of Advancement of Status of Women in Israel, I don't care about Gaza. I literally don't care at all. They can go out and swim in the sea. I want to see dead bodies of terrorists around Gaza. Said by the Minister of Energy, a watershed will not be opened until the abductees are returned home. That no one will preach to us on humanitarian aid to Gaza. Sent by the Coordinator of Government Activities in the territories, which are illegal. You wanted hell, you will get hell. These are just some of the statements that go to show that the government that we are funding does not share in the same democratic and ideological principles that we hold dear. When the US went into Afghanistan and Iraq, or they did not blindly throw weapons. I remember reading a statistic earlier when the war had started. There were more bombs thrown in a week in a land which is basically a marathon straight and 12 kilometers across than were in the entirety of Afghanistan in 1 year. Afghanistan is way bigger. It shows the complete lack of precision, the complete lack of care for human life. So much so that polio, a disease which was gone from the world, is making a comeback. So the people who do end up living, those children, will be paralyzed now. Yet the vaccines are not allowed to come in. The aid is not allowed to come in a sufficient degree. Even if it does come in, people can't safely move because the existence of safe zones, quote unquote, is a sham. I urge the Council to move on a ceasefire resolution. Not because it will do anything on a federal level, because looking back, Peoria will know that I did something right. It shows that Peoria is moving in the right direction. It has come a long way from, as one of the previous members of the city was saying, from a city which was rated as one of the worst for Black people to an improvement where we're having a debate about giving licenses to entrepreneurs. And hopefully, we'll give more licenses to Black entrepreneurs. Hopefully, we'll have rules that allow humane treatment of homeless people. But this is another step. Thank you.